Hello, everybody. Welcome to our webinar today. My name is Michael Siggins, and I'm the founder of the Channel Pro Network. So glad that you could spend some time with us here today. At Channel Pro, our network includes websites, events, and a monthly magazine for managed service providers and technology integrators. Our mission here is a really simple one. It's to provide you with the information, insights, and resources that you need to run a more successful business. And today's webinar is a perfect example of the kind of info that can help your business. Our topic today is Cybersecurity, how to level up your MSP business. And it's presented by our friends at Armor. Our very special guest today is June Nijar. He's product marketing manager over at Armor. Before I turn things over to June, a couple of quick housekeeping items for you. Please get involved. We always encourage your feedback and questions because it makes for a better experience for everybody. Audience members can ask questions via the Q&A section down at the bottom of the screen. And be sure to check out the link to more Armor resources available for attendees after our presentation today. We're going to follow up tomorrow with additional info and a link to the recording. All right, now I'm going to turn things over to June. June, please take it away.
Thank you so much, Michael. Appreciate it. So welcome, everybody. Again, my name is June Nijar. I'm a product marketing manager here at Armor. And on the bottom left of your screen here, you do see Ryan Smith as the presenter today. So Ryan was the original presenter, but I had to go ahead and step in for him. He is our product evangelist, and he is out evangelizing today. So he had some travel stuff going on. And of course, if you've ever traveled before, you know that it never goes according to schedule. So with that said, definitely, going to go ahead and step in for him, try to cover this presentation for y'all and share some information that we think is going to be useful and helpful for your business. Again, my name is June Nijar. Been with the organization almost about a year now, been in cybersecurity a little over 8 years. Worked with customers from the SMB space to the enterprise space. And I think the presentation here today is really going to be helpful for our MSP community. So the agenda is to, at a high level, cover the cybersecurity landscape and what you should be looking for in a solution. We'll move to which vendors are the best fit for your portfolio, and then talk about the kinds of security support that would be helpful for an organization setting up a cybersecurity practice, irrespective of where they are from their maturity perspective. And then we'll leave some time for questions and answers. So going into our first section here, really, we want to touch on the fact that the managed service market is expected to be a $274 billion market by 2026. And I won't run down all of the different drivers. However, security is a key driver, which is why the focus of our conversation here today is going to be about cybersecurity. So there is a poll question that popped up on the screen. I would appreciate your input. Really just helps us help you as we move forward and talk about partnerships, etc. And so with security being a key driver for the growth in the MSP or managed service market, it's interesting to find that 83% of IT leaders that have in-house security teams are actually considering to outsource security tasks to an MSP in 2021 and moving forward, which is a dramatic shift, right? I'm sure y'all have heard how the pandemic has impacted organizations over the last 18 and 24 months. So I won't dive too much into that, but this seems to be a impact that or an outcome from that that shift in the way that organizations are doing business today. So there's key drivers for this shift where IT leaders are looking to outsource is spikes in cyber attacks, limited personnel, distributed workforce, and lack of strategic counsel for all the various point tools that organizations have throughout their organization. So the security and compliance challenges that organizations face, the key buckets, if you will, are talent shortages, attacks on the increase, and the industry, the complexity in the industry. Some key data points that we find to be very interesting are that 51% of businesses can't retain the right security talent, You hire somebody, organizations will hire somebody. After 6 months, they've got 6 months of experience, and then they get poached by either a government agency or another organization that's willing to go ahead and pay them more. And then your customers, your clients are stuck with having another open job requisition. So that's just a huge, huge challenge. I think that's been out there for quite some time at this point. And it might even impact you as well. We'll touch on that a little bit later. There's been an increase, 91% increase in cybersecurity attacks globally due to working from home. And again, that's an outcome of COVID with these distributed workforces. People are working from their home office and they don't have the protections that they once did when they were all going into the office. And again, just organizations have just a bunch of different cybersecurity tools for every different cybersecurity problem. And then this kind of funnels back into the initial challenge that I had mentioned about the talent shortage. So they buy a tool, then they need the people to be able to manage that specific tool because they require expertise. And it's just like kind of go through this. Though these boxes are written left to right, it's kind of like a cycle. And so this is the problem that your customers are facing. And so as a managed service provider, what should you look for in a solution to address all those challenges for your customers? So what you want to do is look for a turnkey solution, something that's easy to deploy to protect your customer within minutes, not days, weeks, months. You want to reduce the disruption to business operations for your customers, but also, again, be able to provide that security protection quickly and easily. You also want to be able to address a broad set of needs. IT infrastructures for your customers vary greatly. And you don't want to waste time on multiple point solutions because, again, you're going to run into that same talent issue when you look at point solutions to fix the problem. So you're going to run into that same cycle that organizations are running into today. And an all-in-one software solution is really going to be key because it's going to be able to help you address a broad set of security needs across multiple environments with one solution, as opposed to multiple vendors, multiple different capabilities that don't necessarily talk to each other. Multi-tenancy, I think this is a no-brainer for managed service providers. This is absolutely a requirement when you are looking into the environments of multiple customers. You want to be able to, an overused term, a single pane of glass, right? You want to be able to go to one screen, be able to see what's going on with all of your customers instead of having to kind of swivel your chair to multiple different screens, multiple different monitors. And you want intuitive dashboards where you can quickly view, correlate, analyze, and manage large data sets for all of your different customers. Integrations are key. I think in order for an MSP to be efficient and effective, you want something that is going to integrate with your remote monitoring and management systems, your professional services automation solutions as well. So it can basically seamlessly talk back and forth and offer you the ability to integrate into your processes, even though there is new technology as part of the equation. And scalability. So as each of your customers grows, so does your capacity, right? And so does the need for your capacity to be able to support your customers. You want to avoid protection bottlenecks and downtime with enterprise-grade technologies that are designed for that scale. So using a solution that is going to work today, you want to make sure that solution is going to work in the future as well, instead of limiting yourself to just looking at what's right in front of you in the immediate. So scalability is a key something that is key to being able to go ahead and protect your customers today and in the future. So which vendors are best for your portfolio? You want a standardized technology stack. Again, too many point solutions, it's a nightmare from an administrative perspective, from a maintenance perspective, from a support perspective, and can cause you to go down the rabbit hole where if you have a problem, who do I call? Which vendor is the one that is causing this issue? Let me call vendor A and see, okay, submit a ticket for support, and they're going to run through, okay, everything that you're using. They're like, oh, it's not our problem, it's the other guy's problem. And you're basically going to be stuck on the phone or stuck with emails, just trying to manage an incident, not really understanding like who is really the root cause. And that's just an issue that you don't want to have to run into. So really having a standardized technology stack is going to be critical, so that way you have essentially one vendor to go to for all of your security needs and be able to get the support that you need. Because in the end of the day, time is money, time is important, and nobody has enough of it. So yeah, just look for a vendor that offers a broad set of capabilities. Easy licensing models are also critical. I don't, not a lot of people think about that as like, hey, the consumption of licenses is different depending on the different vendors that you talk to. Might be based on endpoint, might be based on consumption, might be based on various different things. And so really you want to have an easy licensing model, so that way in turn you can more easily bill your customers for the services that they decide to add to your overall portfolio of services that you're offering your customers. And you want to avoid licenses that are rooted in predetermined data ingestion rates, volume licensing, or on CPU usage type stuff. So let's see here. What kind of security support is important? So it's important for you to look for a vendor that is going to be able to provide you with deployment support. A deployment issue can not only make your life a headache as a service provider, but it can also, it will directly impact your end customers as well. And so you really want to be able to get that support from the vendor that you decide to work with, so they can help you make sure to minimize the impact to your business and the service that you're delivering to your end customer. And so it just minimizes the delay and can actually offer you the assistance that you need. 24/7, 365 guided remediation. Cyber attacks happen when you don't want them to happen is really what it comes down to. And the longer that a threat actor is in your customer's environment, the more damage they can cause, the more data they can steal, the more disruption they can cause to your end customers. And so you want to look for a vendor that has 24/7, 365 support and can be able to offer you that remediation assistance any time of the day. Having SOC engineers and analysts to be able to call them, to be able to use them as their resource is critical, because those are really going to be your security experts that really understand the different types of threats, the tactics, the procedures that threat actors are deploying and acting on against your customers. And so having this resource really is going to be critical, especially if security isn't your expertise. That's, look for a vendor that has that engineering and analysis security operations center team that's going to be able to do that heavy lifting for you and help you really, really understand how to go ahead and best deliver the best service to your customers. A threat research team. This is really, where you can, it's a level of support that has to do with really understanding the threat landscape, understanding the dark markets, and again, having a deep level of understanding of what threat actors are doing, the types of attacks that are prevalent, and being able to really, in turn, feed that back into whatever product that you decide to go with, and provide you a level of support that's going to help you ultimately deliver better security outcomes to your end customers. So, many times when we talk about security, sometimes compliance is woven into that conversation. However, depending on the verticals that you service, compliance typically is a key driver to even start a security type of conversation. And so the vendor that you choose to work with, you definitely want to see if they have compliance in their vocabulary, but more importantly, if they have specialists, if they have a team that can help you navigate the complexities of compliance. There are definitely similarities between the different frameworks and regulations. However, they are not all the same. And so having someone that has that specialty for, let's say, HIPAA versus PCI versus, CMMC and various different frameworks, et cetera, is being able to go ahead and have that resource there to help you navigate those conversations for your customers, and in turn be able to provide your customer with a checklist, if you will. It's going to be critical, and it's a huge asset for any service provider. And support for growing your business. I mean, up until this point, we've talked much about technology, right, and the various different technical resources. However, the recommendation at this point is to really look for a partner that can truly be a partner beyond just the technology and beyond the technical support and the security support, but really helping you grow your business. Because in the end of the day, growing your business is how you all keep the lights on, how you pay the bills, and ultimately how you thrive and are able to support additional customers. So growing your business further, choose a vendor that can help you from a marketing perspective, from a sales support perspective, from a partnership perspective, whether that is portal access, content access, there's email support in terms of helping you from a marketing outreach perspective, helping you get on the call with your existing customers or prospective customers to help you ultimately sell additional services. I think that's a huge value add that definitely makes sense to take into consideration. And so, what can Armor offer? I mentioned earlier that I'm a product marketing manager with Armor. And so our organization, I just want to cover at a high level, what we can offer and how we work with, partner with MSPs to deliver the security outcomes their customers desire. And so, this slide right here is not unique to Armor. I think this is for, hey, any solution that you're looking at. This is kind of a chart. Feel free to go ahead and take a screenshot. So that way you can kind of help you navigate some of the considerations that you want to make when you're looking to partner with anybody, is really understanding, hey, like what type of risk are you trying to help your customer with? Is it intentional risk? Is it accidental risk? And so then at a high level, the difference between intentional and accidental is hey, just not knowing that maybe some secrets are left in an application's code and those can be exploited. That's not intentional. That's accidental from an organizational perspective. Intentional is maybe there's an insider threat actor that is causing malicious harm, or there's an external threat actor that is trying to attack the organization. So I guess those are just kind of a couple of examples of what the difference between intentional risk versus accidental risk. Outcomes, right? Protection or security. Is that what you're trying to deliver to your customers, or is compliance the outcome that you're trying to deliver to your customer, or is it a blend of the two? Moving down the list here, solutions. I won't read through everything right here, but basically in terms of the solutions, flexibility, speed, all that kind of stuff, like these are some of the things that you want to make sure that you're taking into consideration. And then visibility is the last one on this list here, is like, where are you trying to deliver those security protections? Is it in private clouds? Is it in public clouds? Is it in endpoint environments? Is it in hosted environments? Is it in a hybrid, some kind of mishmash mix of all of that? And so, little bit of a Armor commercial here. But these are the various different environments that Armor protects. So really what Armor does is empowers you with the right platform, enablement resources and expertise to secure your customers and grow your cybersecurity practice, and deliver services across all these various different environments. So, it's a purpose-built platform for managed service providers. We offer threat detection and response with streamlined compliance, and this is all in one solution. It's a platform that you're able to ultimately deliver security outcomes across the various different environments that you see here. So endpoint security, meaning host-based. We've got malware protection, vulnerability scanning, file integrity monitoring. There's a cloud security posture capability for public cloud compliance assessments. There's containers if you have customers that are DevOps shops or purely just cloud shops that leverage containers. We're able to help you secure container images. And then there's a log and data management component for cloud native logs and third-party logs, network logs, all that kind of good stuff. And fundamentally, what Armor Anywhere, our platform, does is provide you that unified management and visibility across multiple different environments. And so you see a list here on the side of all the different cloud and hybrid and different environments that we support as well. Key thing to understand is that Armor Anywhere deploys in minutes. And there's 24/7, 365 monitoring, guided remediations, multi-tenant. So all the things that we talked about earlier, definitely part of the Armor Anywhere platform solution. So something that I want to touch on here is, experts at your side. So, with Armor, you do get a threat intelligence team. We actually do scour the dark web. We look for types of threats, types of attacks that are common, but we also keep a close ear to the ground in terms of understanding. It's called, I guess, cybercrime as a service. Which is a really, really interesting key finding from our threat intelligence team. I won't go too much in depth on it, but ultimately, threat intelligence is a key value add that our MSP partners are excited about, and it's part of our experts at your side offering to our partners. Security Operations Center, we've got a team of experts that are ultimately looking at your customers' environments, doing all the heavy lifting in the end of the day when it comes to all the different security telemetry coming into the Armor Anywhere platform. There's an engineering team. Again, there's a support team as well, not just kind of break fix type of support, but to the right, if you see over here, there's governance, risk and compliance teams. There's a solution consultants team. There's account managers that help manage the account relationship. And then there's also the marketing and sales support that you can tap into to fundamentally grow your business. So some key resources that Armor offers. If you're interested in getting more information on Armor Anywhere, our cybersecurity platform, and seeing how we can help you ultimately grow your business and add cybersecurity to your portfolio, irrespective of where you are in terms of your journey or maturity level. Definitely, reach out to us at msp@armor.com. And you can request a demo, additional information there. And we have data sheets as well as a plethora of content, some white papers and other content that you can download at armor.com. This specific one is MSP data sheet. So this can help you understand the solution a little bit more in depth. And so there's additional resources as well at armor.com/resources. So I think I went through the presentation pretty quickly, but I can definitely open up the stage here for some questions and answers. I want to emphasize again, I am not Ryan Smith. I'm June Nijar, and definitely recommend that you reach out to Ryan. Definitely a great resource. I think his LinkedIn information will be provided here as well. But again, Ryan is the one that was the original presenter here, so apologize. I hope I did justice to his presentation. But yeah, definitely want to open up the floor for any kind of questions that y'all might have.
All right. Hey, thanks, June. This is Michael again. So we've got a whole bunch of questions coming in. I want to thank everybody for those. As a reminder, use the Q&A area, please. All right, so here we go. When do you recommend NOC or SOC ancillary services?
So I think NOC and SOC fundamentally do different things, right? NOC, you're talking about network operations, you're talking about making sure servers are up and running, you're talking about switches, you're talking about various different network components. And then when you talk about SOC, really you're talking about being able to identify threats, being able to detect them, and then ultimately being able to respond to those threats. And so I think that's a great question to be able to ask your existing customers. And I would propose that question is in the way that really, let's see, it's trying to understand your customers' security appetite, their risk appetite, really, understanding if they understand that the level of exposure that they have to cyber threats. I think a recent statistic that I read was about 43% of cyber attacks actually impact small and medium businesses. And not a lot of people think about that. A lot of people think, hey, my business is too small. Nobody's really looking for me to go ahead and do a cyber attack against me. So I think I'm okay. I don't really need anything, maybe just an antivirus and I'll be good. However, I'm sure everybody on the line here gets unsolicited phone calls. Either it's from somebody saying that your vehicle warranty has expired, or saying, hey, your social security number has been compromised, or various different types of unsolicited automated calls. Well, those are attacks on the individual, right? But they are attacks on the individuals based on data that was compromised by small and medium businesses as well as enterprise businesses. And so you're never too small to be a target for a cybersecurity attack or a threat actor. And so really it's just understanding and sharing, offering that thought leadership, I think, to your customers about security being front and center, front of mind, and educating, leading with an educational perspective, not a fear tactic, really, I think is important. I hope I answered that question.
All right, yeah, thanks, Gene. That was good. And all right, next up, does Armor support Kubernetes?
So Kubernetes is really, so you're talking about from a container perspective. Kubernetes, yes, the short answer is yes. We do support Kubernetes because Kubernetes is really to deploy container images. So yeah, we do work with Kubernetes.
All right, and does Armor include security awareness training and phishing simulation for MSPs?
Security awareness is definitely a service. We don't offer that service, but that's a great question because that is definitely something that you want to look at to be able to deliver to your end customers. But no, that's not something that we do today.
All right. Do you offer NFR copies?
NFR copies. That is not a space that we play in.
All right. What about minimum contracts or any guidance on that kind of thing, like pricing and minimum contracts? Where's the best way to get information on that, June?
I think the best way to go ahead and get pricing information and all that is to actually, request a demo. It's a no pressure, type of call. Because what we can do is actually design the pricing and packaging, et cetera, to your specific needs. But yeah, there is no minimum in terms of a contract, no minimum purchase required. So we're very, very, very flexible. And ultimately the goal is to partner with our MSP community.
All right. And then it's just a reminder to folks that, yes, we will be sending out some links and some more information, plus a recording tomorrow. Also, please check the chat area. We've been inserting a number of links and email addresses that June mentioned in his prezo. So you might want to bookmark those now. All right. Okay. So here we go. More questions, sir. What about incident response? Should we be looking at vendors that can do remediation on our behalf?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that's a case by case. So, you know, even in my past experience, I mentioned I've been in cybersecurity for some time. It just really depends on that level of trust that you have with your end customer. And if your end customer is comfortable with you going ahead and just at the end of the day, handling the entire incident, managing it for them and just letting you know, hey, you had an incident and we took care of it. Or if you're looking for a partner that is going to help you ultimately drive that additional level of value to your customer. So that way you can actually do a detailed synopsis for your end customer so they know why they're ultimately paying you, right? I think it just really just comes down to those two ways of looking at it. So yeah, I think that's more of a question for your organization, but definitely having some type of incident response remediation capability is definitely going to be important to be successful.
Excellent. Okay, next up, do you offer licensing models, June?
When you say licensing models, we try to keep it simple. It's based on number of endpoints.
All right. What are some key questions I should ask vendors to figure out which complements my MSP best?
What are some key questions to ask vendors so that they know which technology complements their MSP best?
Yeah, that's how I'm reading it.
I think it's going to come down to so I'm assuming this is not an MSP asking this question. It's an end customer, right? That leverages an MSP. If somebody can chime in on that, the person that asked that.
Okay, we'll wait to see if they can provide some more context. Okay, so if I'm new and getting started in cybersecurity, what should I focus on first? How do I figure out what I should be investing in for my firm?
Yeah, that's a great question. So if you're in your early stages, I think definitely, I think a direct conversation with us is going to be a good start. So again, I definitely recommend reaching out to msp@armor.com to start that conversation, because there's obviously many different ways that you can go about adding security to your portfolio. So, you know, don't want to speak too anecdotally that, hey, add this, that, and the other, but I think it just really comes down to, you know, how big your staff is, what is your level of security expertise to begin with, what is the, you know, what are some of the verticals that your customers are in, is compliance part of scope for what you want to be able to deliver to your customers. So I guess that's at a high level what you want to assess, and then yeah, I really recommend reaching out to us and at msp@armor.com.
All right, excellent. Does Armor help support with onboarding and selling the solution, meaning to their customer, to the end customer for the MSP?
Yeah, absolutely. So that comes back to being able to provide that support from a marketing and sales perspective. And so we can help you with sales campaigns, marketing campaigns, to ultimately help you, you know, keep saying this, like growing your business, but it's really that handheld approach to help have those security conversations so we can bring that expertise to the table with you, alongside you.
Okay, and I got a little update on the where was it? On the NFR questions. That please direct questions to this email address, msp@armor.com, msp@armor.com, and I think everyone can see that in a chat. If you've got questions about NFR, there may be some opportunities there for people. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so does Armor have MDFs?
Marketing development funds. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is actually part of our marketing and sales support as well. So along with us selling alongside of you, we definitely do campaigns, work with you to create events and stuff like that, and help develop your marketing engine with some funds as well. So yeah, that's definitely in scope.
All right. What is the sweet spot when an MSP offers your solution to a client? In other words, endpoint size.
Number of endpoints,
Yeah.
if that's the question. Um, I don't have that information at my fingertips, but I can follow up with you. But one thing I do want to mention is that when it comes to offering those services, we definitely have enterprise grade solutions. So big or small, we can definitely help you. So if it's 10 to 20 endpoints that you need to support with your customer, we can help you. If it's thousands of endpoints for your end customers and your multiple customers, we'll be right there beside you and be able to support you with that. But I can follow up with the kind of the sweet spot, if you will.
Okay. And then back to like purchase versus licensing. Here's a question. Instead of outright purchase, can I license based on endpoints?
Yes. So it's not, so we don't have a perpetual license model. We have a essentially like a SaaS type of model. So yeah, you can license based on the number of endpoints.
All right, excellent, June. Okay, how scalable is your solution for the multi-tenant environment?
Yeah, I mean, we've worked with MSPs again, you know, large and small. But if you talk about some of our bigger partners, I mean, they're working with hundreds and hundreds of end customers. So it's definitely scale is part of the solution.
Okay, is licensing based on annual rates or monthly?
It's monthly.
Okay, and then what about compliance? Should we be looking at vendors that do both?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. Again, it depends on who your end customers are and if they have compliance requirements. But the fact is that not all vendors will be able to do both of those capabilities really, really well. And part of the Armor value that we offer to our customers is that we have security operations experts at your fingertips, as well as compliance, governance, risk experts that you can lean on as well. So the short answer is yes to both, because I'm sure there is going to be a customer that takes credit card payments or has some kind of PII that they need protected. So I think it does make sense to at least ask that question, propose that to your end customers. So yes.
Okay, next up, so what are your thoughts on an MSP building versus buying a SOC? And then kind of a related question, what's the advantages of SOC as a service for MSPs?
Yeah. So when someone's asking that question, really they're saying, hey, you know, why go with you versus building it myself, right? And so what you want to assess is not just the upfront price or cost of building that security operations center, because that's going to be a pretty heavy lift up front. But hey, you'll own the technology if it's a perpetual license and just pay some support, or if you do something from a SaaS perspective, that's great. But in the end of the day, like really where your expenses and your time and your business is going to be impacted is being able to support that technology and looking for those security experts to be able to manage that technology, be able to address, create all the rules, create all the correlation, create, you know, any type of security orchestration, automation, response type of tools to really make everything work seamlessly. And so security as a service is essentially all of that as a subscription. And so security as a service is going to address the security expert. It's going to address the technology. It's going to address everything that you would get if you had a fully operational security operations center. Without you having to go out there, hire the talent, buy the technology, maintain the technology, keep it, you know, do the caring and feeding, all that kind of stuff. And so based on my experience, based on the conversations that we're having, I mean, that that is the challenge that your customers are already having, doesn't really, my perspective on it is, doesn't make sense to go ahead and take that challenge on yourself. You know, what's going to help your business is being able to leverage a security as a service platform that does all of that baked into it.
All right. Well, June, it was awesome. You were handling these fast and furiously. It looks like we got all the questions answered. So where do you want to go next, June?
Yeah. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to present today. Again, Ryan was the original presenter. Definitely is a resource that you can reach out to. He's out on the road doing presentations actually in person. He was in Vegas yesterday. He's in Orlando today. So if you do get an opportunity to see him present in person, I definitely recommend it. And again, he is a great resource to reach out to as well. The other thing I want to recommend is, again, you know, MSP@armor.com. Definitely recommend that you request a demo just to understand what our technology can offer, as well as all the additional support resources, which are in addition to and beyond the technology. And so, yeah, MSP@armor.com is where you can request a demo, get additional information, all that kind of good stuff, and learn more about Armor and see how we can assist you to enhance your early stages of cybersecurity, or even your mature established cybersecurity capabilities.
Okay. Hey, June, if you don't mind, I got one more question came in, and it really is a kind of a good, just to kind of give a little bit about Armor. They're wondering if is Armor new to the channel. Can you give us maybe a little history lesson, June?
Yeah. So actually, Armor, our origin story started about 12 years ago as a secure hosting company. And we have, so security has been part of our DNA for a really, really long time. And so we have historically worked with partners, mainly VARs and some MSPs, to sell the technology, sell the capabilities, be able to, you know, have our partners add additional service wrappers around our technology and our deliverables. And actually, we earlier this year decided to pivot very hard into purely partnering with MSPs, and really, you know, expanding on the success that we have seen with the MSP section of our business, from just historically having partnered with them. And so, yeah, we've been here for 12 years. We really know what we're talking about from a security perspective. And though you haven't seen us at a lot of like trade shows prior to this year, you're definitely going to see us at the trade shows. You're definitely going to see us more and more as we partner with more and more MSP partners. So yeah, you know, cloud, network, endpoint, server, all that stuff has been added to our portfolio over the last few years, and I think, you know, that's very, very relevant again in today's market, today's landscape with the pandemic. And so there's a tremendous opportunity here for MSPs and Armor to partner and secure end customers.
Excellent. Well, June, thank you very, very much for your time. Really appreciate it. And so glad that Armor made this presentation possible for us. To our audience, thank you so much. Great questions, really great interaction. We've got it all recorded, and we'll be following up with you for that kind of information. All right, so this is Michael Siggins on the Channel Pro team. I think we're all set to wrap up, June. June, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks, everybody. Have a great day.